It's waiting for it to work. Nurturing by Nature has started a live video. Yes, I have. Hello, it's Emma, Nurturing by Nature. I'm coming at you from Upton today. And we're going to go over holiday stuff and holidays with your dog in a minute. Wait for a couple more people. That's so typical now, isn't it? Anyway, right, so it's that time of the year where everyone's gone, oh, the weather in the UK is pants. What are we going to do? Maybe we'll book a last minute holiday. Great, easy peasy, but then it comes down to somebody looking after the dog. And a lot of the dog sitters and that sort of thing are all booked out at the moment. Really busy, loads of people going away. And I think there's a few less dog sitters and things around when it comes to volume of pets as well. So I've got a few easy ways to be helped to get friends and family to help as well. So you've got this last minute holiday booked. Sounds too good to be true. The pet needs sorting out. So well, yeah, we all deserve a break. So there's two options, isn't there? So you go and the dog stays at home, or you will go on holiday. So there's being in the UK, really lucky. I mean, we live in Dorset, which is quite often a holiday destination for a lot of people anyway. But there's lots of things available on websites. So plenty of last minute holidays, which you can stay at self-catering accommodation. You can stay at a campsite in a camper van. So there's loads of options there available. But it's not always the easiest thing to do when you're feeding a raw diet. So I've got a few hints and tips to help you. So let's start off with if you are going away and maybe friends and family are looking after the dog. One lady on the phone this week, very clever, came back and had her dog converted onto a raw diet whilst she was on holiday, put it in with a dog sitter, and the dog sitter converted the dog onto a raw diet, and she's completely experienced with it, and it's quite a cool way of doing it in a way. So you go away and then your dog's converted when you get back, because sometimes that can be a bit scary, changing over. So if someone else who knows what they're doing is doing it, then that helps you. And as long as you get the information later on what to do, then I'm sure you would have done some homework in the first place anyway. So I thought that was quite clever, actually, this lady. So what things we've got? So if your dog's going to a dog sitter, there's lots of things you need to consider. So we've got the option of going to a dog sitter, like a kennels, a dog sitter with it in the home environment, or you've got friends and family, really. I suppose those are the options, where your dog goes and lives in your friend or family member's home, or they come and stay in your home. So when you need to think about what you're going to pack for your dog and what you don't want to do, what you want to kind of get that person to do it again. They enjoy playing with the dog. They enjoy the dog staying with you, but understand tripe that you decided to hand over for food. So don't do that. Don't give them the tripe. Choose options that are easy to give and not too many. If your dog doesn't have, it won't kill them. They'll have it when you get back. Deal with it then. So I have got some options here to show you. And also I picked out some sort of non-smelly treats, so you can't hand it dog over in a whole packet of tripe sticks or a bag of hairy rabbit ears. Not everyone quite gets it if they're not a dog owner already. So keeping it easy, stick to the minces. If your friends, family, dog sitters are happy, send your dog in with the amount of food. What's really handy and what's really nice to do, if you can, is portion it out in advance. Not everyone's got the opportunity to do this, but you can portion your food out in advance, put it in some tubs, and then it's ready. And all the person looking after your pup has got to do is just empty the packet out and then just feed the dog. And then that's all they have to think about. And it's all lovely. Dog's happy because it's food's got its normal food. So obviously we have our two sizes of packets, and you could maybe separate these out in advance. So if your dog's on 500 grams, that's 2 meals there. And that's 200 grams in that packet. So sometimes these little packets make it a lot easier for you. And then depending on the person, so you kind of need to gauge the situation, you might be able to send along with them a nice thing like a chicken carcass instead of one of the 200 gram meals. So that would be one day, and you could just label it all up and put it into bags for the days, and then all the person has to do is get that bag out from the freezer the day before, and everything in that bag the dog can have that day, and you could even put their treats in there for that as well. Lamb rib, potentially, depending on the person and their level of experience, that would be someone who's a bit more up for it. They might not like the sound of the crunchy lamb ribs, especially if they're not dog owners. Or you've got this sort of marrow bones, so you could encourage the person to have one of these once a week or something. Dog can have it in its crate, pop it outside, and then let them enjoy it peace and quiet. So those are sort of some of the meals. I would definitely try and portion it up if you get the opportunity to, unless you've got a dog sitter. A lot of people that I know that are dog sitters, they do feed raw, and they love it if the client says, I don't mind if you want to feed raw whilst we're away. In fact, I was thinking about doing it. So don't be afraid to ask if that's something that you want to do, because quite often people that already feed raw would appreciate that, other than having to pick up the other type of mess that comes out on the other end. Because that, for a raw feeder, that's the worst thing. You think, oh, I'm so used to my dog with its little tiny poos that don't really smell, and then this Rottweiler comes and stays with me and mountains of poo. So if they want to convert it to raw and they're happy to do it for you, then I would absolutely let them. It makes it easy for you when you get back. So friends and family looking after your dog. If they're not dog or pet owners, they need to make sure that their garden is secure, their front doors are secure. They remember they've got a dog staying with them, and then potentially maybe they could dig out an old baby gate if they've got one and put that in the area that they don't want the dog to go. And also, you need to remind them that they need a bit of freezer space, because you are feeding a raw diet and you're portioning it all up for them. But then they do need to take out a bag a day or something along those lines, and give them our number, okay? We are more than happy to help anyone who wants to give us a call. If they're looking after Rupert for you, I would say, look, if you're stuck at all, just give Nurturing by Nature a call. They're really helpful. And friendly, and they're not necessarily on the phone on the weekends, but if you either go to one of the shops or call the office during the week, they'll be more than happy to help. So if any of your friends and family get stuck at all, or even the dog sitter, give us a call, because we could either replenish what they need. So if they need some more food, we can get it out to them, or we can give them some advice on what they should be given if not entirely sure, if they've lost instructions, for example. So a list of things to send with your dog to a dog sitter, or to a friend and family member that's looking after your pet for you. So I would use treats that are not so smelly. So obviously you need their daily allowance worth of food portioned up if you can. That's a really nice thing to do. And treats that don't smell as bad. So something long lasting. This is a big one here. This is one of the Yak Chews. This is a handy, non-smelly, cheesy chew that you can give to the dog, and it shouldn't be too offensive. It doesn't smell at all. So as long as the person doesn't mind the dog chewing on it, that is quite good. And I don't think these create that much mess either. They tend to just eat up the little bits that fall off. And the leftovers they can either throw away, or if they're experienced with it, they can put it in the microwave. Sausages, they smell a little bit, but they are kind of something people would associate sausages, giving a treat like that to a dog. So I don't have a problem with something like that. I would probably avoid, unless you've got another dog owner, anything hairy, because that could probably freak someone out a little bit, depending on the person. You know them better than me. But you could do rabbit ears without hair, potentially, something along those lines, because they're not really smelly. They're not really offensive to anyone. They might not even realise what they are. Or you've got little training treats like this. This is the JR rabbit training treats. They're quite small and handy, and you've got well over a week's worth of training treats there, depending on the dog's size. Pork rolls, they don't smell. They're quite a handy treat. They could also put some food in them if they felt so inclined. Other than that, they could just hand that over. They smell a little bit more. Maybe you might want to say give it on a towel, because sometimes they can be a bit greasy. But those are the pork rolls. They don't smell. And then something along these lines, some dried puppy meat. Dried meat. So that's a small bite dried meat. You get 500 grams in that bag. You could even split that down into portions for the day. and give it to them, say, oh, she can have that much for the day. That's absolutely fine, so that then the person doesn't have to worry. But really, if you're going away for a couple of weeks, as far as their diet goes, there's not there shouldn't be too much that can go wrong if you give them some basic instructions. So I imagine it'd probably be okay that you've got some dried treats there. You could also think about the home environment, and maybe something a bit more enriching. So you could use it if you've got one of those, or these. You could send the dog in with one of these. Tell them they can feed them in this, put it in the freezer and feed the raw food on one of those. You could use some of the pate. This is the pate, and the squeezy pate. One of those you could use squeezy pate, which is like a paste that can be done. As long as they keep them in the fridge in between using them, that should be fine. And hopefully that's given you some ideas of what to send. I would also remember to take a seed, just in case, put it on a wall potentially. The dog's favourite toy, something squishy, cuddly, reminds them of you. You can make sure that that's something that they're used to at home and that with them, so they've got something for familiarity. And the poo bags. Don't forget the poo bags, guys, because that's a very important role of looking after the dog. So poo bags. You might not need these if your dog is into a pet sitter, because you might assume they'd have them already. So unless they ask for them, probably not. But definitely make sure friends and family have got the poo bags. And a couple of other nice to haves just for that person. Maybe something like the wipes, or you could tell them to use a towel. So when they've been out for a walk, to wet their feet, so it keeps their home nice and clean. And then something like the Pet Remedy spray again. That's just a natural spray that helps calm the dog without sedating them. So sometimes if they're a bit worked up, especially when you leave them to start off with and they're not used to the environment, something like to use wherever in the house that the dog's going would work really nicely to help settle them down. And for the human, potentially something to say thank you, of course. And then, yeah, so that should work with friends and family. Dog sitter wise, you need their meals. You probably need to send their food bars. Vet details. So if whoever the dog is staying with, they need to know your vet's details. So all the registered practice, if you say you live in London and the dog's coming over to friends 20 miles away, they won't be going to the same vet practice, but at least they will have the phone number of the veterinary practice that your dog is registered at. So that's always a good idea. Sorry. Okay. And then the other option, of course, is if you take your little dog on holiday with you. So all these items that I've brought on here, you can find on our website. You can find them in our stores as well. So I have gone down and raided Louisa's shop. I'm at Upton at the moment. And I've picked all these things up from it in the Upton store. So all these items we've got available online and in store, and that's at Nurturing by Nature. And our shops are based in Upton in Poole, which is where our factory is, where we make all the food. We've also got shops in Christchurch. We've got a shop in Wimborne, Pamp Hill. So if you could find it easily. You see where there's a website and to Dorset Hideaway. A lot of generally compared to what bridge, and usually they allow sort of 1 or 2 dogs to go on holiday with you. Sometimes you might have to pay for the pet, and sometimes they're free. They might ask you to take a blanket for the sofa, or a blanket for the dog to sit on, or live in the area, or even a crate potentially. So that's an option with the pet friendly holidays. And usually when you're staying in something along those lines, they have actually got freezers in. So they'll either have a drawer, or they'll have a whole freezer section that you could put your food in. So you could take it with you, and you can use one of the polystyrene boxes or a cool bag, and you can bring your food with you for the holiday duration, or find somewhere local that does a raw food option. So obviously we're in Dorset. Also, we can deliver. So if you know where you're going and you haven't got any room in the car, we can usually organise a delivery for the right day that you're going to be there. And that has been done. We've done that lots of times with people, and it just saves that hassle of having to pack the food away. You just work out what you're taking or work out what you want, and then it gets delivered after you've arrived, or maybe before you have arrived potentially. So that's something you think about when you're going for dog-friendly accommodation. And like I say, there's loads available. And then I guess the other option potentially is camping. So camping with your dog and feeding a raw diet could be a bit tricky if you're not sort of well prepared. But luckily, a lot of the campsites that you visit now do have a freezer that you can put freezer packs in. Not generally store food in. Some do, like in France, you can put your own food in bags in the freezers, and people don't tend to take it. It's all there. But generally in the UK, there's usually a freezer available for you to put freezer packs in. So 4 or 5 freezer packs with you, swap them out on a daily basis, you'll be able to keep a cool box nice and cold. And a lot of people plug in to tents. They have got electric points, so they have electric camping, or they've got a camper van or a caravan. So there's always options to keep the food cold. Also, there's always supermarkets, so don't worry if you haven't got some raw food and you've run out and you need something. Look in the local shops or supermarkets for something like the chunks of meat, or you could do wings. You could do drumsticks, you could do minces, but just bear in mind they will be fresh and they won't have any bone in, because it will be for humans. So also, like I say, and we have delivered to campsites as well. So we are obviously very blessed to live in such a nice area, and there's a lot of campsites in the area, and we can deliver directly to them, and we have done as well. So we will do that for you. We've delivered to local dog shows, all sorts of things where people are staying with their pets. So you can find all the information on our website, and generally we can get it out to you quite quickly. So should you be a little bit stuck and you're in the area, give us a call and we will see what we can do for you. So yeah, we deliver obviously all over the UK. So if you're staying in Dorset, Devon, Cornwall, the Cotswolds, or wherever it is you decide to go on a self-catering or camping holiday, we can generally get out to you. We use next day courier service. So as long as it's usually on a Tuesday through to Friday, we can deliver on a next day service. And then if you're local here, we actually have a Saturday delivery round that we run, and we also deliver Monday through to Saturday on our own van. So that's the whole of the BH postcode area. You can visit our website and find out the information from there, and then you can log online and put your order in, request a date, so you can choose the date that you want it to get delivered, and then you can pop your order in and we will come out to you. And if, for example, you put an order through on a Friday morning and you want it on Saturday, it will process it if you choose Saturday option for delivery, and it will give you a day that you want to deliver it on. So you could even set this up in advance for a couple of weeks' time if you happen to be coming down this way, and we'll get out to you. So that's probably generally about it all. We've got a few things going on this weekend, actually. I know that Christchurch is quite a busy town to be in. During the summer, they usually have a lot of events on, and due to the bad weather, a few things were cancelled last weekend, but I think everything is running as far as I know. And if you happen to be in the Wimborne area, at our Pamp Hill site, so we are located at Pamp Hill Dairy, which is just above Wimborne on the Kingston Lacey estate on the road towards Bradbury Rings. You take a left off of it. If you go there tomorrow, which is Saturday, they're actually having like a Meet the Maker kind of event day. So there's lots going on at Pamp Hill tomorrow. So, and our store there is open from 9 till 5, and generally lots of lovely treats, toys, food that you can choose from, like the stuff I've shown you already. They've got all that stock. They've got more freezers in there. So I'd really like to see what you think of the site if you happen to visit. That would be great feedback for us. And then so we've got those two. Christchurch and Pamp Hill are both open Saturday and Sunday. So our Saturday hours at Christchurch are 10 till 5, and then 10 till 4 on Sunday, and then 9 to 5 Pamp Hill, and 10 till 4 on the Sunday. So those 2 stores. Now, Saturday, we also have our other 2 stores open, which is the Westmoor store, which is situated basically between Ferndown and Ringwood, which is on the Hampshire border. Those 2 are there. So that's the Westmoor store. Westmoor's is open tomorrow 9 till 5, and then Upton, which is our site here that I'm at today, that's where we make everything, our factory site. That's got a little shop attached to it, which is very busy on a Saturday between the hours of 10 till 1. So you can come and pick stuff up directly from where we make it as well. So that's our weekend covered. Hopefully the tips and things I've talked about with going on holiday with your pet have been of some use to you. Do let me know any extra tips and hints that you've got that you use for your pet when you go away. I think the main thing is sort of remembering. I know one lady, bless her, she booked her holiday and forgot she actually had to do something with the dog, and she'd booked it to go abroad, but luckily she had someone look after him in that time. But yes, sometimes these things can get overlooked, and don't worry if you do that, because you're only human and it happens to everyone. So make sure that whoever's having the dog, one of the most important things is give them our number. We will help them, and also make sure that they've got your vet's number. That's really important. So that's everything. If you want me to read anything, then we will do. We'll go through in another email for you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the summer holidays with your pet. Thanks for joining today. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.